The movie starts with this dude, Jun-woo, and he's a total gamer nerd. He lives with his parents and sister, but he's basically always locked in his room playing live games like PUBG with his friends. So one day, he's in the middle of a game, totally focused, and his family isn't home. While he's playing, he hears this news report on the TV in the background. It's saying some crazy virus is spreading all over Seoul. People are attacking and biting each other, and it's a total disaster. The government can't handle it, and everyone's trapped. He's like, what? And goes to his balcony to check it out. And holy crap, it's real. Down on the street, people are literally eating each other. It's complete chaos. He's totally freaked out because, yep, it's a full-on zombie apocalypse. He runs back inside, but then this neighbor from down the hall just barges in. The guy is begging to use the bathroom. But then Jun-woo sees another news flash describing the symptoms. Cannibalism, white skin, red eyes. And just like that, the neighbor starts to turn right there in his apartment. It's super intense, but somehow Jun-woo manages to push the guy out and slams the door shut. Close call. Then he gets a text from his family. They're like, are you okay? And then the last message he gets just says, #stay alive. So he writes alive on a sticky note and puts it on a picture of his parents for motivation. And he just locks himself in his apartment. He pushes his fridge against the door to keep the zombies out. Then he does what any gamer would do. He posts on social media. He puts up a post with his location and the #stay alive, hoping someone will see it and rescue him. But nothing. Nobody comes. He even flies his drone out the window when he gets a signal, and what he sees is just awful. The whole neighborhood is completely overrun. Everyone is a zombie. And then, to make things worse, his phone finally dies. Total disaster. And get this, these aren't just regular zombies. They have this weird muscle memory. They still kind of remember their old lives. So you see this zombie firefighter still trying to climb a rope, and office workers are just wandering around in suits. It's a whole new, super creepy kind of zombie.
Okay, so Jun-woo remembers he could probably use a radio to call for help, but then he's like, wait, I don't have a radio. Bummer. So days just keep passing. He's totally trapped, making these little video diaries for himself, but it's pointless. The food is almost gone, the internet is shot, and there's no cell service. It's a total disaster. Then one night, he looks out his window and sees this awesome police officer just taking on a whole horde of zombies by herself. He's trying to help, yelling and making noise to distract them, but it's no good. They just swarm her and kill her right there on the street. It's so messed up. And then a zombie actually gets into his building and is coming for his apartment. So Jun-woo has this crazy, brilliant idea. He acts like he's going to jump and tricks the zombie into lunging at him over the balcony railing. The zombie just goes flying off and splats on the ground. He totally faked it out and saved himself. So smart. But after that, he realizes he's completely out of food, like nothing left. So he starts drinking his dad's fancy liquor just to have something. At first, he's just drunk, but then he starts having these super sad hallucinations that his family is home and everything is back to normal. And then, miracle! His phone suddenly gets a signal, but it's the worst possible news. He gets one last voicemail from his family, and you can hear them all crying and screaming as they turn into zombies. It's their final message. He just snaps. He totally loses it and starts smashing up his whole apartment. He's so full of rage and grief, he even runs outside to just let the zombies get him. But then he gets scared and runs back inside. He just can't take it anymore. He remembers the message, stay alive, but he's given up. He decides he'd rather die than be one of them, so he makes a noose and is literally about to hang himself. But right then, this red laser dot appears on his chest. He looks up, and across the way, in the apartment building opposite him, there's a girl, another survivor. Her name is Yubin. They start signaling each other, and she's super cool. She's got this whole trap set up on her door, and when a zombie gets stuck, she just takes it out. She sees that Jun-woo is starving, so she tries to throw him some food by tying a rope to a baseball, but it falls short. Total fail. But then Jun-woo has a genius idea. His drone. He flies it over to her balcony, and they use it to connect a bigger rope between their two apartments. And it works. She sends a whole bag of food and water sailing across to him. It's awesome. But then, disaster. That firefighter zombie from before spots the baseball on the ground attached to the rope. And because these zombies remember their old jobs, he starts climbing the rope. He's pulling on it so hard that it yanks the table inside Yubin's apartment, and it crashes right into her, knocking her out cold. So now the zombie is climbing up to her apartment while she's unconscious. Jun-woo tries to help by flying his drone at the zombie to distract it. But at the same time, a bunch of zombies are breaking down his door. He gets distracted for a second, and the zombie grabs his drone. It looks like it's all over. But then Yubin wakes up. Just in the nick of time, she grabs this little hatchet, leans over the railing, and just cuts the zombie's hand clean off the rope. The zombie falls all the way to the ground and dies. What a save! Okay, so after all that, Junwo decides he has to risk it and go looking for food in the other apartments. He gets a key off a dead zombie and goes into this one apartment, figuring the zombie was the owner. Inside, he hits the jackpot. He finds tons of food, a walkie-talkie, and even a bunch of mountain climbing gear. He's like, whoa, this person was super adventurous. But then he goes into the bedroom and finds a dead lady on the bed. And right then, the actual homeowner, who's a zombie now, shows up and attacks him. It's a huge fight, but Junwo manages to get away. He wanted to use the radio he found, but surprise, it's broken. Of course. So he sends one of the walkie-talkies over to Yubin using their rope system. Now, they can actually talk to each other. They chat for days, and she tells him she's super afraid of heights. And you realize, like, having someone to talk to is even more important than food when you're that alone. For water, they just put buckets out on their balconies and wait for it to rain. Then one day, a massive horde of zombies swarms the building. It sounds like pouring rain, but it's just the sound of thousands of running zombies. In all the chaos, Yubin accidentally drops something, and the noise draws every single zombie right to her apartment building. It's a total disaster. But Junwo has another genius idea. He uses his landline to call the phone in the apartment next to hers. The ringing makes all the zombies charge over to that apartment instead. These zombies have super good hearing. So they're talking, and they both realize they can't just stay there forever. They'll die eventually. Yubin tells him she hasn't seen any zombies on the 8th floor of his building. She's like, we have to go there. We have to find more food to stay alive. So they make a plan. They both rappel down from their balconies to the ground. A huge fight breaks out with all the zombies, but they fight their way through, and after a ton of trouble, they make it into the elevator. They get to the 8th floor, but the zombies are hot on their trail. And then, out of nowhere, this other guy shows up and saves them. He offers them food and water, but Yubin is super suspicious of him from the start. She doesn't want to eat, but he kind of forces them to. And she was right. This guy is seriously bad news. He drugged their food. They both pass out, and he ties them up. And get this, his plan is to feed Yubin to his zombie wife. So messed up. He shoves Yubin into the room where he keeps his zombie wife locked up. But just then, Junwo wakes up. He grabs a gun and points it at the guy, but the psycho won't listen. And then Yubin does something super smart. She throws a cloth over the zombie wife's head, confuses her, and pushes her right at her own husband. She bites him. Then Yubin has to kill them both, even though she doesn't want to. All the gunshots bring every zombie in the building running to that apartment. Yubin is so done, she just tells Junwo to shoot her. But right then, they hear it. A helicopter. They fight their way through the last of the zombies and make it to the roof, but oh no, there's no helicopter. It was just a sound. They use up their last few bullets fighting off the zombies on the roof, just praying for a miracle. And then, for real this time, a military helicopter swoops in. The soldiers start shooting all the zombies, and they rescue both of them. They fly away from that horrible place, and as they get further away, their phones finally get a signal. They're so happy, seeing messages from friends they thought were dead. They both upload a picture of themselves, and Junwo changes his social media status from #StayAlive to just alive. And that's how the movie ends.